I just thought we were half a yard away from the game or not, you know, like ruck time, just our ball carriers carried the ball in, went forward, and then, you know, we're looking to see what the outcome is instead of just getting in there and blowing the guys away. You know, charge down, turning our back to the opposition, not just for a pass on the 22, just half a yard off the game, you know what I mean? I thought, and that allowed them to get in there and slow any type of attack we had down on most occasions, you know.
Without those couple of errors, let's say tries in the first half, did you win that game? Well,
I think you would by the math, yeah, but I think that's irrelevant, to be honest. Like we did make those mistakes. So mistakes are just as part of the game as good things too, you know. So part of being on song from the and having that urgency from the start, those things don't happen. You know, you're very much more focused on the speed of the game and the speed you want to bring to the game. So we can say that, yeah, but that's a familiar story because it's happened to us before against the very same team. You know, so. It's all part of the game. You've got to own it all, and that's it. We could say the reverse too. Then when we made long breaks, we didn't have enough guys there. We made so many breaks, didn't have enough guys there to, you know, to wheel the ball over the line.
How does that happen? That's intent, isn't it? That's what you've been sort of imposing on you guys for a while.
Yeah, well, mate, that's something that we've got to get sorted out, isn't it? Because otherwise we'll always be in these battles, you know. When we maybe shouldn't be. Should be scoring 2 or 3 more tries and keeping the opposition down 2 or 3 more, or 1 or 2 more. That's why we keep staying in these types of tussles.
What was the most disappointing thing for you on
Oh,
night of
mate,
frustration?
I think just that, you know what I mean? Like that little bit of extra, getting there, like getting set early, getting to things first. They're things there wasn't a huge amount of drop balls, a few wayward passes, but there wasn't a huge amount of drop ball, or we didn't have a lot of missed tackles or anything like that. I just think that in some of the key moments, you need to have that focus on, like, I'm going to step up here and make this happen. And, you know, a couple of times we had those key moments as well, and we didn't do that.
What did you make of the performance of the breakdown?
Like I was saying, you know, we were just a yard behind, half a yard behind, which allowed them to get into the ruck contest and slow the ball down. You know, you're up there a yard faster, a half a yard faster, then that ruck contest won't exist. It'll be quicker. You'll have taken the tackler away from the contest, and you've got the ball to play with for the next phases. And that's when we look good. But, you know, you've got to create those situations and not you know, imagine them.
I think you said last week you rated the set piece like 6 out of 10. Where did you feel it was tonight?
Yeah, it was probably about the same. There's no improvement. Thought it was probably accentuated a little bit this week because we lost a couple of key balls down the end there, you know. And that's all. It's the focus. There's nothing wrong there except just concentrating on the job at hand and making it happen.
Yeah, I really thought we had the momentum. Ultimate believer in our guys to do the job, and maybe too much so tonight. Hindsight, maybe could have gone to the goal just to mount up a bit of pressure there. However, I was feeling we were starting to get some really good pressure built on them, just the amount of time we're spending in their 22, even their 40. And I was, you know, waiting on a try to happen, and we got very close a couple of times. Yeah, I mean, it was a pretty unusual break. The fact it was out in the middle of a mall. Again, in hindsight, it would have been nice to be able to buy some time for the rest of the guys to get there. Yeah, frustrating, but look, plenty to look at on Monday.
Michael, do you see changes coming with this result?
Yeah, I'd say so. I'd say there'd be a few. You know, I think that we've got to not like I said, it's really about that one point I spoke about at the start, you know, about being more urgent to the game. You know, willing the game more. You've got to make it happen. And it's not just going to happen for you. So you've got to have guys with that attitude, I suppose.
How do you change that attitude?
You just stay at it. Right? If you just give up, well, then you're not going to get, you know, like you eliminate all the excuses and you just stay at it. Stay at it and find the, you know, and make the team come there.
Does it disturb you though, Mike, you probably gave those messages at half time, no change in the second half or not sufficient?
No, it doesn't disturb me, you know, like the messages were before the game as well, so it makes no difference whether it's at half time or before the game. Mate, we talk about, you know, like we have having good prep weeks and all that, which we did, you know, but you don't win at training, you win at the game, you know. And you got to come to the game with your attitude on. And again, we weren't off completely, we were just a little bit behind the pace that we needed to set to win the game. So we were in the battle and we could have won at the end if we got one of those tries or we drove one over the line or whatever. But that still would have been the same, you know, pattern throughout the game. So that's really something that we've got to get clear in our minds, that we can control the pace of the game by the pace that we play at, you know, and not let it slow down.
The situation with Carmichael,
I think he just missed out on the HIA, so he'll be good. I think he'll be fine. He looked fine in there, you know what I mean. Got back up, made another tackle, I think, when he was all over the place. So, yeah, I thought he had another good game, and you know, I think he'll recover well. He should be okay for next week.
Apart from the cross kick that Foley put for Folau, how do you judge the kicking game of the Wallabies?
It's hard for me to think about it right now. I don't think we kicked a lot. I thought we kicked a couple that we didn't chase very well. And there was a couple of probably kicks from the halfback that we didn't need to put out there. Just times we perhaps needed to keep the ball instead of send it back to the opposition. And again, an area where we need to, you know, feel the game when it's on, take those opportunities, and when it's not, keep the ball and keep playing, because you know, that's one of our strengths, is playing ball in hand type of game.
Has that been validation last week and this week kicking to full out on the wing as to how dangerous that can be and how?
Well, yeah, I wouldn't be claiming to be a genius coach to work that out, you know what I mean? Like, it's pretty straightforward. Like, he's one of the best in the air, kick him over the ball. I think you're always betwixt and between with that stuff. Like, do you want to keep playing footy or do you want to take that kick over there? But, mate, like, if he's going to catch all of those, you keep kicking it over there, I'd say. Yeah. And then that should open up some other space to give you some opportunities. But he's obviously a class act on there, and yeah, he made some other good interventions today, some good carries. When he didn't get a lot of quick go forward balls, so I think he's in a nice vein of form at the moment.
We've warned everybody beforehand about Scotland being better than people they don't. I suppose what you actually experienced.
Mate, the only people that keep trotting out the Scotland better thing are you guys. You keep putting yourselves down, and then maybe it's just so you can get up for the game. We think Scotland are a top team. So no, we never said anything about that. You guys say it, and then you perpetuate the story back through us somehow. But the only people who are saying that Scotland aren't up to it is the Scottish media. So definitely not ours. I don't see our media saying that. We've had big contests with them. They're a well-coached team. They've performed very well in the Six Nations, and we knew exactly what we'd be in for today, and we got exactly what we expected.
You have to turn it around very quickly, Michael. There's obviously a few games coming up later in the year. Last year we saw a couple of losses. Dead momentum going into August.
Mate, for sure.
What is this week?
This week will be important for how we respond, how players respond to, you know, the challenge that will be put in front of them around the mindset that they bring to the game to set the pace of the game, you know. And I know it's hurting Michael listening to it, because you see, I can feel it, him sitting here next to me. He's one of the few who are out there, you know what I mean, leading that charge. But every player's got to bring that mindset to the game, you know know what I mean? And it's not saying anything out of school. I spoke to the lads about it inside, and then they know, and it's otherwise we wouldn't be sitting here with a loss.
You feel that the team has progressed a lot since June last year? It's a different team.
Yeah, it's a different team. It's a very, very different team. So that whole thing started, I think, if you look to this team now, to the World Cup final, there was only one of the starting pack in there, you know. So teams changing, and that will take time to change, you know, get that mindset sorted out. But this is a good challenge to be presented with straight away. They'll be down after the game, how they bounce back, what they show next weekend, and in the games ahead, we've still got another, you know, 3 big games in this little series for us. These 3 matches plus the first 2 New Zealand games, you know, so to set up the season.
Michael, considering all the chances you had, the ball you had, particularly in the last half an hour or so, are you surprised you did not kick on and win that game?
Are you talking to me, this Michael?
Yeah.
Am I surprised? No, I'm not. Like, you've got to make the best of your opportunities, you know. So we had a lot of ball, yes, and but you could see in the way we were approaching our rucks and that contest, the speed of that contest, that we were continually letting the opposition get back in the defensive line, in a set defensive line. So you can sort of, when you're watching the game, you'll see that, and you'll see, okay, well, they're set for this, you know what I mean, even though we might be going forward. So we have to disrupt the defensive line by getting, one of the plays we do, getting quick ball and then getting that out, and then you'll expect to see tries and opportunities come from that. A lot of the breaks we made weren't sort of from, you know, they came off the back of work, but maybe we didn't perhaps create those holes the way we'd like to normally, so therefore we didn't have enough support in there behind them, you know.
Are you a little bit surprised that more of the Scottish players didn't go on the Lions tour?
Well, that's what I said when this tour got picked.
Is that right?
Yeah.
And after today, what do you think? I mean, there's some serious players out there.
Yeah, of course, they're not playing for Scotland for nothing, you know what I mean? Like I said, they're a fine team, they had a great Six Nations, and I'm sure they're going to continue to improve as well.
Just clarifying, any other injuries of note?
Not that I know of, no, not at this point.
What did you, I imagine it was probably a bit of a distraction, but what did you make of the Springbok performance? The All Black performance?
Oh, I didn't see it, mate, last night. No, I didn't see it. Looked pretty good though by the sound of the score. So,
That's pretty good.
You looked at this sort of as a 1-on-5.
Yep.
How tough is it going to be for you if you think you want to make changes based on, you know, attitude and intent, but what you also using new combinations to try and keep that together?
Oh, not really. No, I don't think that. Everyone's been sort of training together. Everyone knows the role that they'll have in the game. You know, I think the first thing that comes when it comes to game time is getting your mindset right so that you're up front and you're at the contest first. You know what I mean? And that's more important than combinations. More important than anything. You know, so just to want to get out and set the tone, the speed of the game. All right. Thanks.